Ladies, can we be honest for a second? And gentlemen, if you're watching this, you're about to get the cheat codes. Everyone thinks women are obsessed with money, that we're all sitting around calculating bank accounts and job titles. But here's what nobody tells you. There are 6 things that make us feel more alive, more connected, and more attracted than any dollar amount ever could. And if you're a woman watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never said it out loud. I'm about to reveal what actually makes our hearts race, and trust me, this isn't the sanitized version you hear everywhere else. This is the real conversation we have with our closest friends at 2 in the morning. So before we dive in, hit that subscribe button because we're about to get real in ways most channels are too scared to talk about. Let's start with number 1. And this is going to surprise a lot of people. We secretly love a man who has a life outside of us. I know it sounds backwards, right? You'd think we want someone who's obsessed with us, who makes us the center of his universe, who's always available. But here's the truth. When a man has his own passions, his own friendships, his own goals that have nothing to do with us, that's magnetic. It shows he's complete without us, which paradoxically makes us want to be part of his world even more. Think about it. When he cancels plans with us because he has a commitment he made to his friends, or because he's working on a project that matters to him, or because he's training for something physical, there's this moment where we feel something shift. We're not his entire world, and that makes the time he does choose to spend with us feel more valuable. It creates space for us to miss him. It gives us something to be curious about. When he comes back from doing his thing, he has stories, energy, experiences that make him more interesting. The opposite is suffocating. When a man drops everything the second we text, when he has no plans unless they involve us, when his entire identity becomes being our boyfriend, we start to feel this pressure. We become responsible for his happiness. We can't have a bad day without him taking it personally. We can't need space without him panicking. And slowly, what felt like devotion starts to feel like dependence. That's not attractive. What's attractive is interdependence. 2 complete people choosing to share their lives, not 2 incomplete people desperately clinging to each other. Number 2, and this one is crucial. We love when a man can handle our emotions without trying to fix them. This is where so many good men get it wrong. We come to you upset about something, maybe work drama, maybe friend issues, maybe we're just in our feelings, and immediately you go into problem-solving mode. You start telling us what we should do, how we should handle it, what the logical solution is. And while that comes from a good place, it's not what we need in that moment. What we actually want is for you to sit with us in that emotion, to listen without jumping to solutions, to hold space for how we're feeling without trying to change it or rush us out of it. When you can do that, when you can be calm and present while we're emotional, that communicates something powerful. It says you're not scared of our feelings. It says you're strong enough to handle us at our worst. It says we're safe with you. Here's what that looks like practically. We're venting about something, and instead of immediately offering advice, you say something like, "That sounds really frustrating," or "I can see why." That would upset you. Or you just listen and let us talk it out. Then, after we've been heard, after we've processed, if we want advice, we'll ask for it. But most of the time, we just need it to be understood, not fixed. The man who understands this difference is rare, and when we find him, we don't let him go. Number 3. We secretly love when a man has boundaries and actually enforces them. Now, this is going to challenge what a lot of people think we want. There's this narrative that women want men who agree with everything, who never push back, who just go along with whatever makes us happy. But that's not true. What we actually respect and are attracted to is a man who knows what he will and won't accept, and who calmly stands by that even when it's uncomfortable. When you let us cross your boundaries repeatedly, when you say yes when you mean no, when you tolerate behavior that clearly bothers you just to avoid conflict, we lose respect. Not because we're trying to be difficult, but because we're unconsciously testing whether you have a backbone. We want to know that if life gets hard, if real challenges come, you're going to be strong enough to handle them. A man with no boundaries signals weakness, and weakness is one of the fastest ways to kill attraction. This doesn't mean being controlling or rigid. It means knowing yourself well enough to understand what you need in a relationship and being honest about that. Maybe you need certain time to yourself. Maybe there are ways of communicating that don't work for you. Maybe you have non-negotiables about how you want to be treated. When you can express those things clearly and kindly but firmly, that's incredibly attractive. It shows self-respect, and we can only respect you as much as you respect yourself. Number 4. And this is a big one. We love a man who can lead without being asked. I know this is controversial in modern times, but let me explain what I actually mean. We don't want someone to control us or make decisions for us. What we want is someone who's comfortable taking initiative, making plans, having opinions, and taking charge of situations when it's appropriate. There's a masculine energy in that decisiveness that allows us to relax into our feminine energy. This shows up in small ways that accumulate. When he decides on a restaurant instead of the endless back and forth of, "Where do you want to go?" followed by, "I don't know, where do you want to go?" When he takes the lead in planning a date and surprises us with something thoughtful. When something goes wrong and he handles it calmly without falling apart. When he has a vision for his life and invites us into it rather than waiting for us to tell him what he should be doing. The exhausting opposite is when we have to lead everything, when we have to make every decision, when we're constantly pulling information out of him, when he's so passive that we end up having to be both the masculine and feminine energy in the relationship. That's draining. We want a partner who can dance with us, not someone we have to drag along. When a man can lead confidently while still respecting our input and autonomy, that balance is exactly what we're looking for. Number 5. We secretly love vulnerability at the right time with the right person. But here's the key. It has to be strategic vulnerability, not emotional dumping. There's a huge difference. When a man shares something real about his experience, his struggles, his fears, but does it from a place of self-awareness rather than neediness, that creates deep connection. It shows he trusts us. It shows he's human. It shows there's depth beneath the surface. But when a man is constantly insecure, constantly seeking reassurance, constantly falling apart emotionally, and needing us to put him back together, that's not vulnerability. That's emotional instability. We're not looking for a project. We're looking for a partner. The man who can share his inner world selectively, who can be real without being weak, who can show us his humanity without making us his therapist. That's the man we feel safe opening up to. Timing matters too. Early on, too much vulnerability reads as unstable or desperate. But once trust is built, once we've seen your strength, strategic moments of openness create intimacy. It's the contrast that makes it powerful. You're strong 95% of the time, so when you let us see something vulnerable, it feels like a gift, like we're seeing a side of you that others don't get to see. And number 6, this is the one that ties everything together. We love a man who's genuinely pursuing something bigger than the relationship. A man with a mission. A man who's building something, whether that's a business, a skill, a body of work, a better version of himself. When we can see that you have purpose that extends beyond just being our partner, that you're driven by something meaningful, that makes us want to support you and be part of your journey. This isn't about ignoring us or making us feel unimportant. It's about having an identity and direction that exists independently of the relationship. When we're with a man like this, we feel like we're adding to something already great, rather than being responsible for creating his happiness. We get to witness you becoming more, and that's exciting. That's inspiring. That makes us want to grow alongside you. The man who has no mission, who's just drifting through life, who makes the relationship his entire purpose, puts enormous pressure on us. We become his reason for existing, which sounds romantic but is actually suffocating. We don't want to be your reason to live. We want to be a valued part of an already meaningful life. So here's what all of this comes down to. Yes, financial stability matters. We're not going to pretend it doesn't. But once basic needs are met, these 6 things matter infinitely more. A man who has his own life, who can handle emotions, who has boundaries, who can lead, who shows strategic vulnerability, and who has purpose beyond us. That man is rare. That man is attractive regardless of his bank account. that man is someone we want to build with. If you're a woman watching this, comment below which one of these resonates most with your experience. If you're a man watching this, you just got insider information that most guys will never understand. The question is, what are you going to do with it? And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now because we're just getting started with these real conversations about attraction and relationships. See you in the next one.